So guys, let's look at the word
information
and what they say it is. What goodies does it show? So noun, information, fact provided or learned about something or someone. Example given, a vital piece of information. Law, a charge lodged with a magistrate's court. That's interesting. Plural noun, informations. The tenant may lay an information against his landlord. Number 2, what is conveyed or represented by a particular arrangement or sequence of things. Example given, genetically transmitted information. Computing. Data, as we're talking about, as processed, but I say possessed. Funny that, isn't it? Processed, possessed. Stored or transmitted by a computer. Information theory, a mathematical quantity expressing the probability of occurrence of a particular sequence of symbols, impulses, etc., as against that of alternative sequences. And origin, from Latin informer, Latin informatio, Old French inform, information, formation of the mind, teaching. So it's intriguing, isn't it, when it talks about the mind. Late English, also the sense formation of the mind, teaching via Old French from Latin informatio, from the verb informere. So that is what they say information is. So I'll just do my normal spell etymology and break it down and see what goodies I can find. So now the spell etymology of information. Now what you're going to see is a lot of just what ifs and just my interpretation of what I found. So please don't take it as fact, but it should make you think, and it's making me think, because I always, as you know, I always say, just treat it as information. Well, if it's this, we may be playing into a trap. Now, let me go through it now. So I split it up, and I'm just using info. So info, not four heads, but info. Now that means to shape or give form to. So that's intriguing, especially if you live in a world that manifestation is needed, the imagination, the magic, to change the reality around us, to form it. Also means to delineate, figuratively train, instruct or educate. It comes from the 14th century word informer. What does that sound? Anyway, before that, it means instructor, one who teaches or gives advice. Sounds like informer, doesn't it? What do you guys think? I mean, what does informer mean? It means one who informs something else about something. But trace it back, it's one in the same. One who communicates information in his mid-15th century, sense of one who gives information against another. So again, information is key. You're all informers. We're all informers. So also sounds like informer, enforcer. And enforcer means one who compels or constrains or urges. Like the Elshites, they are trying to enforce the information on us. So now you're left with Mati out of information, and Mati comes from the Proto-European meaning mentis, which obviously most of you will know means mind, thought and memory. That blew me away when I found that. Also in Greek, Mati means eye. So automatically you think of the evil eye of providence, the eye of Horus. It's intriguing, isn't it? And the last bits are Ion, could be the god Ion, whom is a heliocentric deity associated with time, the orb or the circle. The circle is intriguing because I'll show you something on that soon, which I've showed you many times in other videos, but you probably forget. Encompassing the universe and the zodiac, and basically he is Janus. It's intriguing, but the objective that is used in it is the state of being active or functioning or operating. Adverb used to operate or state, and that's ion. But you also can have ion or IOONN, which is an old word for John, who is known as John, and a derivative of Yanos, yes, the one in the same. So it got me thinking about enlightenment, because they say knowledge and power and information is enlightenment is the key. So there's a verse here, or a quote. It says, knowledge is power. In post-capitalism, power comes from transmitting information to make it productive, not hiding it. Now that got me thinking out the box type of thing. It's talking about power and information transmitting and glowing and creating light. Masonry talk about, if you look into it, talk about information and knowledge is power. Power, could it be why we have power in this reality around us? So my opinion, could information mean the process of turning on the circuit and shaping it to the form you desire or you control or enforce? Makes you think, doesn't it? So then when we go through that light bulb moment, when we're learning and we're researching and we're gaining more information, we all have a light bulb moment. Something switches on, creating a spiritual power within. Is this what they're enforcing? Is this why we, as they say, are in like a hamster wheel? The more we research, we seem to be more, we've got to do more, we've got to do more. We don't take a step back. We're constantly looking for the next thing to research. Is this a process of being trapped in the system? They want us to keep on looking, keep on turning that wheel to create more power, more light for the system. And it takes me back to an old film that I was brought up with and I loved it. It's a cult classic. It's called The Last Dragon. And when he believes, the main cast starts to glow, and he talks about, and the evil opposite is talking sure enough. He's like, sure enough, and he's like, I am the master. And when he says he's I am the master, it gets me to that word I am that is used by God as a name. Now I am, and I showed you that I am AI, and then the M could be frequency, could be power, hence I am. But what gets you thinking is from that verse, that famous quote, that I think, therefore I am. So to think, do we become I am when we are researching, looking for this ancient knowledge? Are we powering this realm through our constant need to research? And we could, and like I said, we're all in it. I'm doing the same, and it's just a what if. Are we powering it? Are we encouraged? Because it's like that old narrative. If someone's telling you not to do something, what do? You do it more, don't you? So we are like blacklisted, we are shunned, we are put into a category, we are told not to do this. If you do this, you'll get punished. We're banned off different platforms for revealing the information that we have found. Is that just like a big psyop? Are we falling for it by keep researching it because, hey, it is the occult, it's hidden? Is it? Now that is a big what if, and I do it, and I'm just thinking to myself, wow, are we being the batteries by researching it? And the more you get told don't do it, the harder you do it, the more content you're making, the more thought process. Are we becoming I am to power the realm around us? And now it's a huge what if, and don't be like people, he's saying this. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm just picturing you guys facing me, and I'm like, what if really we shouldn't be doing this? Or what if, is it just me overthinking it? It probably is, but it's intriguing, isn't it, when you just put all these pieces together? So I promised you a few minutes ago that I would go back over something I've mentioned briefly in another video, and it's this verse, and it says, it is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants therefore are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. Now you can very change it, different Bible verses, different interpretations, but it's basically spreading the same message. But the actual etymology of circle comes and means something else. In other times they have used this word, and I've just shortened it down, and you'll notice the difference. So listen, it is he that sitteth upon the circle. Now let's change it to what it could be used, because circle comes from Latin circus or circus, And yes, we do live in a circus also, but it's also another word for something else. It's circuit. So change it from circle into circuit, and you now get it is God that sitteth upon the circuit of the earth. Now it makes sense. And what do in electrical terms? We have to earth things. So it's just crazy that if you just change that one word, it then talks about how God sitteth upon the circuit of the earth. When I found that out, I went, bloody hell. So when people are going about, oh, the shape this and shape that, it means circuit. So he's sitting upon a circuit. But circle does also involve in the etymology of the word electric, because obviously we're talking about smart cities, we're talking about circuit board, motherboard, earth, we're talking about the path of data travelling these circuits. Well, how does circle come into it? And I want to show you now from an old video. So coming up now is the spell etymology that I did in regard to circuit, in regard to electric. Now on electrical, what I found on that blew me away and put me on a journey that I'm still on today, being honest. So here's this clip coming up, and it'll make more sense as we go through the video. Etymology of circuit. Circuit, a circumference, a periphery, a line going around an area, a space enclosed within a certain limit. Electrical sense, arrangement by which current is kept up between two poles. Between two poles? Looks like Masonic, doesn't it? A current is kept between two poles. That's the number 11. So let's go over the etymology again. Circuit, a circumference, a periphery, a line going around an area. So possibly a circle. From circa 1400 as a space enclosed within certain limits. Sounds familiar. So far it's a circle and it's enclosed. Electric sense, arrangement by which a current is kept up between two poles. So picture an electric current trapped and enclosed by two poles, 11, moving in a circular pattern. Can you picture it? Here's a clue. It's one of the oldest Masonic symbols. And here's a few seconds for you so you can actually have a little guess. And here it is. Two poles, an electric circuit trapped in between the two poles. That is what I see. It's just blown me away. I've talked about it for a long time, this symbol, in regard to circumpunct Godhead knowledge. But if you actually just put it into perspective in regard to the etymology that I've just shown you, it just makes perfect sense. Two poles trapped with a circle of electricity in between. So there's many theories on it. Even the Masons admit they don't truly understand what it is. One theory is that you are the dot and the lines represent virtues, vices, etc. Some say that the point in the circle refers to the circumambulation a new initiate is required to make about the sacred altar. To them it's sacred law. I believe it's us trapped in a loop, in a circuit, a motherboard. Sailing the current, the currency, the currency. The electric current of life. So before I spell etymology electric, I held a definition back on circuit. So, space enclosed within certain limits, hence district in which any business involving periodic journeys is done, especially of judicial assignments involving the journey of a judge from one place to another. Spell etymology of electric. Now this is when it gets wow. Electric, godly, ECT, object, or, and so forth, and rick, jurisdiction or district. So electric means this place, object, is a jurisdiction of God. Tell me that ain't wow. So this word, it gets intriguing even more, if it's possible. So what you're seeing on the screen is the tree of life, or what some people call the Kabbalah. So, and yes, people say, oh, this and this and this. I'm just showing you information that I found. Hopefully you find it intriguing like me. It just blows me away. So now where all the 10 Seraphot, which is, you know, the tree, meet up, is called Da'at. So you can just see me, I've pointed out to you. So normally it's 10, but where it meets is 11. And this is the intriguing thing. The Seraphot are described as channels of divine creative life force or consciousness through which the unknowable divine essence is revealed to mankind. Now, it's just a pure coincidence that Seraphot adds to 92, which is 9 and 2 equals 11. And that is number 11. That pesky 11. Don't have to get about, doesn't it? So Da'at is not always depicted and basically representations of the Seraphot, and could be abstractly considered as an empty slot into which the germ of any other Seraphot can be placed properly. Now the divine light, it's funny that when we're talking about light and different things, aren't we, in data, the divine light is always shining, but not all humans can see it. That's what it's known as, the divine light, and not always people can see it. Now over the years I've put this little image into videos and talked about it. Humans glow, human body emits visible light, human bioluminescence, but you can't see it because of our spectrum. Now remember back to the image that I've used in the video so far of the man glowing from the film. This is what I was talking about. Are we power? Are we the light? This is the intriguing nature of it. Now they say Da'at, or you can say Da'ath. This is the H one, but I'm just using Da'at. Is the knowledge of the one who is knowing, the I. Remember back, the spell etymology of information. Mati meant I. I, ego as well, I. It's crazy, isn't it, when you put all these connections together. Now they say nothing is more frightening than this knowledge of I, yet nothing is more empowering. So again, they're telling you how this light, this knowledge, this information can be terrifying, frightening, but is empowering. Now, knowing is everything. The world comes into being, they say, because God knows it to be. If so, knowing is the fabric of which all things are made. Everything is knowing, like the thought that we've talked about, the manifestation, the magnifiers I call it. Now what blew me away is when I'm showing you all this and just digging a little bit deeper, see what this says on the screen. 11, as we have explained previously, represents Da'at Elohim, the heavenly knowledge necessary for extracting the hidden light of creation and revealing it to all mankind, causing the great healing of the history called the final redemption. So they're talking of the hidden light of creation, and we glow. And the more Da'at, the more knowledge, the more information is empowering, makes you become lighter. So this is what I was saying, is it really literally we are powering this matrix with knowing, knowing the knowledge, the gnosis. My mind's blown. And hopefully you can see that too, but I've got a little something for you now that some of you will already seen in old videos, but I have to put it in. So again, I found this image on the webs. Knowledge is data, knowledge is power, data is power because it's crossing it off. Data is power. Right. An anagram of data is, you got it, Da'at. D-A-A-T, as I said, is D-A-T-A. That must be a pure coincidence that Da'at is data. And as the meme says, we're just data basically flowing around. We are just Da'at. Now what's intriguing, and I thought was basically intriguing, was that Da'at, as you know, D at the beginning is delta, which is a door. So obviously take away the door, open the door, you're left with at, or at, A-A-A-T. Now in Latin, at is atus, and atus also comes from, you can see, ATA, neuter for atum, first, second declension suffix, used to adjectives from nouns indicating the possession of a thing or being. So if you take away the door, you're left with the at. It's basically atum. I thought that was intriguing and wow, and hopefully you can just see why I'm trying to show you this video. That meme says with data running around on the circuit board, and I'm showing you the importance of data, information, knowledge, and how it creates light in us. And that's why I would just spitballing the opinion, could we actually be powering this circuit board through data, through knowledge, through information? My mind's blown. Hopefully yours is too. So you must have been wondering, why is he going on about this data so much? Well, now you know. An anagram of data is data, and obviously that's why I put it in, because of that meme asking that question: are we data in the matrix, the circuit board, and our energy being ciphered off? So as you know, data also is the heavenly light, the hidden light of creation, amongst many other things, knowledge. You name it, there's an explanation for it with da'at. I'm going to show you this image in regard to da'at Elohim. That blew me away, because in an old video I was talking about the Elohims, the electric lords, the lords of the electric, and I want to show you just like how I came to that, the etymology, the spell etymology, that within just the name showing it means electric. And when you look again, when we always forget, I forget what videos I've done like weeks ago, and I have to catch up, and I'm like, damn, that would go well in this video. So this is why I show all these things, because I want to paint a picture that you can follow, and hopefully now you'll go, yeah, I can see why you was thinking this all along. So The premise for this is that I was talking to Ryder from Raised by Giants on Elohim, who was asking me a few questions on what I've done research so far in the past, and I just thought, for shit and giggles, as the saying goes, you know, like, could I split it up even more? So obviously Elohim, I took the L off, leaving Ohim. So I just typed in Ohim into the translator, and straight away I got this, and it blew me away. Whether it's right or wrong, again, I'm open to this just being a fluke, but it just blew me away. And it connected to other stuff that I've done, hence why I showed you the old video of electric meaning jurisdiction of L, and it's electric. And as you can see on the screen, Hebrew, and I just typed in Ohim. In English it went Will it now? Hopefully this will say it. I'll turn it up on the screen so you can hear it a bit more. And obviously people out there will straight away know what that is. But before I get to that, for some reason I didn't know this. And again, we're always learning. So let me just get to it now. As you can see, Ohm. And this is a different example to what we all know it to be. So Ohm is a unit of electrical resistance transmitting a current of 1 ampere when subjected to a potential difference of 1 volt. And it stems from George Simon Ohm, 19th century, who does Ohm's law, and I'll get into that briefly in a minute. But that just blew me away. Ohm is a unit of electrical resistance, and it's a part of Elohim. And as you guys know, Ohm or Ohm is a symbol representing a sacred sound, syllable, mantra, or invocation in Hinduism. Its written representation is one of the most important symbols that we know of, and you know what I mean. So that blew me away, guys. That splitting Elohim up to type in Ohim actually took the I away and became Ohm, which is, as you know, a unit of electrical resistance. I've been talking about electric and Elohim being electric, and obviously you guys know, well, I didn't know, I will be honest, that
Ohm's
law is a law stating that electric current is proportional to voltage and inversely proportional to resistance. How wow is that, guys? That splitting up Elohim. And if you type in now, while you listen to this on your phones or whatever, type in Elohim images, and most of them you will get cosmic or electric images with the word Elohim in. And as you know, the spelling of Ohm, alternately you can come across the spelling of OHM, Ohm, or Ohm, AUM, or just Ohm. They refer to the same sound. In spelling Ohm, you divide the mantra into 3 different sounds, with the Ohm actually already 3 different mantras that make it up. So Ohm is the most clarifying and correct spelling, and you get this by just splitting Elohim up. Tell me that isn't interesting, why I had to just make this short little video showing you something weird that I found. That Elohim, I've done videos on L11, I've done the videos showing that electric broke down to the jurisdiction of L, all from electric and circuitry. And now you get, type in Ohim to get Ohm, which is obviously the mantra, but also a unit of electrical resistance. Isn't that just wow? The symbol for electric or electric current is this, what we see on the screen. Now that gets you to thinking of, obviously, of storm or thunder gods. Surely it must. Well, that's what I came to anyway, and that's what we're getting in this. So it got me to thinking, is there a few gods? So Adad is one, Bel, Ishka, Marduk, Baal, Hadad, Set, Jupiter, Sumanus, Zeus, Astrape or Bronte, and Thor. So there's just a few I used. Now here you can see is Ohm's law, a law stating that electric current is proportional to voltage and inversely proportional to resistance. I'll put it on a white background so you can just see it. Now when I showed you that before, VIR just stood out to me. Why did Ohm use those for volts, for current and resistance? Was there anything else, or could I find anything else on the VIR? And I was shocked. So did this person, Ohm, get it from here? Because there's too much of a coincidence for it not to be, guys. It just blew me away, all these connections just connecting. So I put an image on screen. Now the meaning of Vera is, now this is from an Indian standpoint of view, courageous, warrior, strong, lightning, thunder. Vihaya means lightning and thunder. Can't be coincidence. So one of the many names of Lord Rama, a name to the ultimately formless, like thunder, lightning, electricity, Advaita, is the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, V-I-R. So the verb V-I-R in Sanskrit means to subdue, to overpower, to tear open, to display heroism. Its related noun Virya means power, strength and energy. Wow. And the warrior form of Shiva is called Virabhadra. That cannot be a coincidence, surely. And in Latin, Vir means man, like virile. So there has to be something to it. Now I found this. Viridius or Viridius is a god of ancient Roman Britain, found in a grave in Lancaster or Ancaster Rite. Now this was found by Thai team to the side. Deo Vrid Sanct means to the holy god Viridius or Deus, and because of the Latin word viridis, green, fresh, vigorous, it is tied to be the early form of the green man. And look at the image, it looks like a little green man. And I just laughed at that because obviously my friend Ryder from Raised by Giants work on aliens, he just made me laugh that, and the early form of this VIR is from ancient Britain, and it looks like a little green man, and obviously the green man then changed to a head. But you can see the connection from Om using all these symbols, and Om, the chant, the mantra, is tied to Shiva. So you can just see an all round connection to everything, and that just blew me away. So we was talking about accidentally finding Om from Elohim and all the gods connection and electric and thunder. It has to be connected, and that just blew me away. Obviously some people believe that Elohim are one and the same as the Nephilim, or a part of that. And it got to me thinking, you know, when we talk about grounding, walk barefoot on the ground. It's good for you. And I've put it in some of my videos. It creates the connection to Mother Earth, and the free radicals and that go through your pores, and it's supposed to be good for you. But what if there was an ulterior motive in it? Hence the fallen angels being cast out and never to ever get back into heaven. They were forced to be in, you know, I've talked about Tartarus or in a chamber in recent videos, but they're here to walk amongst us on the soil. Now that got me to thinking, were ley lines, the grounding, think about it, when you ground something, for instance, if I said to you, the plane's being grounded, what does that mean? It means the flying machine, that aeroplanes through the air is basically being grounded, it's been took away and it's staying on the ground. So what better way to create a living matrix, a living prison, like a circuit board, that these energy beings, remember energy, this is what it said, energy cannot be neither created or destroyed. So what happens to the energy? That is the question. But it got me thinking, and I was talking about this on social media, that Were the ley lines, etymology wise, if we remember, ley lines comes from lie lines. Is it this the point of these ley lines? Is it to keep these winged beings, these Elohim, these Nephilim, whatever you want to call them, grounded? And they need to be connected to the ground. Is this why they created shoes? So that it would disconnect the soles. Remember, we have soles in our feet. We have arches. And is that a reason behind it? Now, I'm not saying this is facts or nothing, and I could completely be talking waffle as I do. But it just got me to thinking, why do we accept a theory or something that's been told to us without even thinking of something? It could be something else, and that's what I do. I've been told, yeah, grounding's good for you, and I've done grounding from time to time when I can, when you're getting clean bit of grass and what to walk on. But what if, as they say, angels walk among us? Why don't they fly? Why don't they do something else? Why are they walking among us? Is it because they have to? Is it because they have been grounded, like the wings clipped, and they need to be connected? Who knows? It's just me debating, talking out loud, and this is what I do on social media, and it just got me to think, yeah, is this ley lines actually create the motherboard for them to keep their charge? Who knows? It's just, something to ponder on, as I like to say. So, guys, I want you all to look at these Bible verses, and there'll be so many more that I've not included because I don't want it to be about this. I just want to show you, could these mean terms in regard to electricity and things like that? So I just want you to understand that. So I'm just going to look at a few Bible verses. The first one: you shall therefore love the Lord your God and keep his charge, his statutes, his rules and his commandments always. Deuteronomy 11:1. Now, yes, charge means many things, but this is what I'm saying. Spells have double, triple, sometimes quadruple meanings. Could this be talking about his charge? And what we're on about charge, electricity charge, to charge your devices, use electricity. And here is a verse saying, you shall therefore love the Lord your God and keep his charge. So they're asking you to keep his charge going. So these are just verses that I want you to just look at a little bit differently. For the kingdom of God is not just a lot of talk, it is living by God's power. And you will find a lot of verses talking about God's power in the Bible. Again, what is power? Electricity power, the grid. So we've also on my videos and my research talking about the doorway effect, on how you walk through a door and it can alter your memory. Interesting, right? So have a look on this realm. What do we see a lot of and generally stand for quite a long time? Are arches. Now, what's intriguing me, you will have some natural arches. You've got stuff like the golden arches. You'll have arches in your, is it how you say in the States, shopping malls? We just call them shopping centres and things over here. We have arches everywhere. So on a circuit board, I theorise, could all these arches be what is known as logic gates? Now, I'll get into what a logic gate quickly is at the end of the, showing you some images. But it just blows me away. So think about it. If we just can walk through a door and that alters a little bit of our memory, what could happen walking through these bad boys? I mean, it's intriguing, isn't it? I mean, just look at common logic gate symbols, and you can see on the screen you have AND gate, OR gate, NOT gate, NOR gate, XOR gate, NAND gate, NOX gate, GAND 8, sounds like Gandalf, XAN GOS, no GOS, and so on and so on. But what got me is, if you think of arches, now here I'm going to put an image on the screen of showing you the different types of arches, and then I'm going to flip back to this. Please tell me, are we not roughly seeing the same thing? So here goes, guys. Here goes, see what you think. Arches, gates, arches, gates. arches. So you can just see and look at the different types of arches: flat, round, segmental, horseshoe arch. Now, could different types of arch have a different, basically setting a different purpose? So it's intriguing, isn't it? And you'll see why I've been talking about this, because if we're living on a circuit board and you have ley lines, or lie lines as I call them, or devil traps, whatever you want to call them, when we then think of that old meme that was one of the inspiration towards this video, of that moment you realize you're just a piece of data carrying information as you move through a circuit system that has been designed to siphon your spiritual energy. This light I'm talking about. So let's have a look at what a logic gate is, and tell me. Obviously some of you will have saw this before from my old videos, but you know, I tend not to remember a lot of them, because you know, we move on to the next. Here goes, guys, and you'll be blown away. Anyone who's new is also. So what is a logic gate? Logic gates are found in our computers. So if you're living on a circuit board, would they have arches here, or logic gates? And that's what I'm theorizing. Here goes the bit. They are electronic devices used to control the flow of data. Again, what did that meme say? You're just pieces of data carrying information as you move through the circuit system. Is that not what a logic gate does? And let's carry on. When data passes through a logic gate, it changes its state. This change depends on the input. Now, I could show you a video that included in the video, but it's really long and winding. It's one of them scientist types, you know, when he's talking about it, you can fall asleep, a bit like my voice. So I'll not put it in, so you can just use your imagination on this, that it's talking whatever goes through the gate, or it will change its state depending on its input. So, you know, whatever that is attached to these arches could influence and change different states, different thoughts, different things on your mind, your different temperaments, your attitude, you know, mind control. There's so much that these things can change. Many logic gates could be joined together to form a logic circuit. The function of this circuit is more complicated than a single logic gate. So if they try and attach and put arches in a pattern. Now, I'm going to include quickly an old video that I did when I was just looking at New York. I found that the arches basically did what they said. They were joined together to do a purpose. So this is what was blowing my mind. If yes, we are living on a circuit board, you would then incorporate stuff like computers, you know, like viruses, spam are just maps. So if you just look at a logic gate, it's a controlling the flow of data, us. Hence, and you got stuff like the doorway effect. So if a door can do that, what can these big ass arches? Who's the god of arches? Who's the god of transitions, boundaries? Again, this is why I researched this topic. So here's that video coming up, guys. We will just show you the pattern that I found, and if you can do it, go and find out what else these patterns of arches are laying around your area. Wondering why I've got the map on this is of New York. I've not exactly zoomed in because I want to obviously progress and show you what I'm actually doing. The reason I've done New York is because I had a little side project that I was just about to start. It'll take years. Oh, God knows how long. And it just like, whoa. It just let me thought, well, I've included some of the arch pictures of New York into this video. And I thought, well, you know what? I'll show you what I've done so far. It's only a side project, but it actually works and integrates beautifully with what I'm talking about, how the arches are built to siphon energy off. So I'm going to go through some arches in New York, and you'll notice a pattern that'll make you go, wow. And like I said, there could be more, so it could be even more planted, but here we go. So we're starting off with at the top. Let me just zoom across up, and the first arch is here, and I'll show pictures on the screen. Well, the first arch is Seaman Drake Arch. So what I'll do is, there you go, zoom in a bit more, and it's actually incorporated into a building now. But I'll show you the picture and I'll put up the screen now. So there you go, the Seaman Drake Arch. I'll show you an old picture where the buildings were around it and how it is now. So there's the first one on the outskirts, and there could be many, many more, guys. Like I said, I've not finished this. This is just for this video, and I'm going to carry on, hopefully. So you move down. So you notice the pattern in a minute. So the blue dot is where the arch is. So just move out a bit. And the next one, as you can see, in a straight line. I mean, you got arch after arch in the bridge, but this what is it's a standalone one, and it's the Harlem High Bridge, and I'll show you because it actually was a viaduct too, and you'll see the beautiful pictures of that. So there's a Harlem High Bridge. It might be I've just put the blue dots roughly in the position, because obviously when you zoom out, it looks like it's in that location. So you can see so far lines up. So the next along the line, I mean, you could have all the arches of the bridges, but you see, if you go carry on going down, you have another Harlem arch, and I'll put that on the screen now. It might be in the wrong place, but it's roughly 125th Street, and that's what 125th Street says. So I just have to go off that. Obviously, if I get it wrong, I get it wrong. It might be somewhere else, but it is in roughly that location, and I'll show you that arch now. So you can see so far 3, 1 straight line. Now we have Central Park. Now there's roughly 36 arches and bridges in Central Park. So you could have more along this line. I've just, like I said, it's time permitting. The only one I've put in is Dipway Arch, Central Park. So there is more. There's 36 bridges and arches in Central Park. So you can have more along that line. It's just hard to find coordinates for each specific bridge. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to do one and then explain that there's 36 more bridges or 35 more bridges in that park, so you can have them definitely in a line. There's going to be 1 or 2 on that line at least. Right, so you carry on moving down. Now in Times Square you had the Arch of Baal, and I'll put that on the screen, the Baal Arch, and that was roughly where they put it. And you can see it from the picture, another arch put in that location. And you're thinking, oh yeah, Times Square. I know people say it's Times Square. I always say Times Square. Just look at the line. It's along that line again. As you can see, carry on moving down. You had Dewey Arch. It's called the Dewey Arch. And I'll show you a picture for the Dewey Arch. I don't think it's actually there now, is it? Or it won't zoom in for me. It might actually, no, it's roughly in that location, the Dewey Arch. And I'll put a picture on the screen so as you can see, guys, it's along that location. So after the Dewey Arch, we did have a few more. There we go, along the Dewey Arch. You had the Washington Square Arch. I think that might be still there. I'll just put it near. Come on, zoom in. There you go. You can see it's still there. So, Paul, you're onto something. So you can see so far in a straight line. Next one. And then I'll zoom really out and you'll see the blue dots. So there could be more along that arm. Like I said, I've had to do other videos in the meantime. So there you go, you had one at Manhattan Bridge, so that's just slightly off, but you also had one at the municipal building. Now the municipal building, the actual arch is incorporated into the building, and I'll show you it now. But what's interesting as well is they had the Baal Arch in front of the building too, so he went in Times Square and he went here. So if you look at the blue dots, zoom up some more. Tell me I'm not onto something, guys. Just look at that. Bang, bang, all the way down. Straight down the spine. all archways, and tell me, wow, you know what I mean? So I just found it so interesting. Oh, and then guess what? You had a few more coming over the other island, onto the other part of Brooklyn. You had the Soldier and Sailor's Arch. So if you look at it, it's all following that same road. I don't know if that's still there, but I'll show you the pictures. There you go. You see the arch. Soldier and Sailor's Arch. And then close by, on the same line again, you had Meadowport Arch. So come on guys, this is just me quickly doing something. Look, central points again, just like that street I showed you before. All the arches on the same line. And you know, maybe if I get more time, this might curve into an arch to go around. But what's funny is, if you follow that line and go like this, look what's on the same line. Some place called Sandy Hook Gateway National Recreation Gateway. So come on guys, I'm into something here, surely. Look, it's on that line, and we know what happened in Sandy Hook. See? There you go guys, this is just a quick video showing you Google Earth locations of arches, and coincidentally they're all in roughly the same position on a line. And from what you've seen so far, and logic gates, and how is it changing temperaments, is it sucking energy, life force, soul, you know, because I've done many videos on us being batteries. Who knows guys, it's just completely up for your interpretation, but it is so interesting this, what I'm just showing you to connection with what I'm talking about on how everything is lining up. Right guys, thank you for watching and your patience. So most of you will see where I'm going with this, just to show you an example of why I researched this topic and why am I fueling this, in a sense of the energy that I'm talking about. Are we fueling the matrix? So one of the oldest names of Yanos is IA, and that always intrigued me, because you'll see at the end, but you'll get it now. If you mirror that, you get something. But when you start looking into then IA, you'll see that it's number 11, the Greek numeral for number 11. It's and what is this number that I've been using and talking about for so long? It's the number of 11, because obviously it's a divine number. So it's intriguing when you start to look at things like this. But when we look at this realm as a whole, we're always told this, whether you believe it or not. But listen to this quote: without mathematics, there's nothing you can do. Everything around you is mathematics. Everything around you is numbers. Obviously, they showed about the design of the nature and how it incorporates numeric values. So that's intrigued me. It's all about the numbers. So then when you start looking at what is data, it talks about data are individual facts, statistics, or items of information, often numeric, hence binary and things like this. In a more technical sense, data are a set of values of qualitative and quantitative variables about one or more persons or objects. Hence why we're talking about, you know, data. We are just data flowing around. While a datum is a single value or single variable. But look at that datum again. Take away the D, which is D, the door, delta. You're left with atom. So even in the numeric of one value is datum, the doorway to atom. And we showed you before about atom turning in and up in spell etymologies. It's just crazy when we start looking things a little bit different, and that's what this video is about. Are we data in the matrix? This is yes, no, don't know. But it's just I just love it, and I get intrigued. Now, is that done by design to keep the fueling us, keep us doing it? Who knows? There's no right wrong. It's like the glass half full type of mentality. Some will say yes, some will say no, some say I haven't got a bloody clue, I'm winging it. Probably me. But anyway, so let's mirror just to finish off this little segment. Oh yeah, we'll mirror it. So IA, Yanos' one of his oldest names, becomes AI. And we're in that era now where everything is becoming AI. Funny that it can be traced back to 11 and Yanos' oldest name. That must just be a coincidence. We live in a fast-paced society, always moving, always wanting, always needing the newest, quickest tech. We live in an era when they're pushing the AI and the virtual world. And now the push of smart cities. And not to be left out, Bill Gates bought land in Arizona to build a smart city. The name Belmont, that basically means the Lord, the Master's Mountain. So we have smart meters, we have smartphones, and all the other smart tech that they have. And as I just said, we have smart cities. It's in the title. Come on. And the word smart connects all of these. But why? What does it mean? Here's the spell etymology of the word smart. Old English, smerten, be painful. To pain, originally to bite. From pie, smerd, pain, which is perhaps an extension of the root mer, to rub away, to harm. Late Old English, smert, painful, severe, stinging, causing a sharp pain related to smerten, meaning executed with force and vigour. Now I know why they are pushing the smart agenda, mobiles, watches, cities, etc. to cause harm, to rub away our humanity, to create constant pain, to execute it, the agenda with force and vigour. And that's the smart agenda. So I want to finish with this so I can get to my thoughts, because we're over an hour already and God knows how long I'm going to talk for. The irony and the humour in me just looked at this and went, trust it. So this is the UK Parliament, House of Lords Library, and It's a research briefing for law. It says artificial intelligence regulation. It's a bill, and the bill number is, you got it, 11. I mean, come on, can you not give me a break on this? And it basically talks about the artificial intelligence regulation bill is a private member's bill proposed by Lord Holmes of Richmond, a Conservative, which would introduce a new body, the AI Authority, which would have various functions designed to help address AI regulation in the UK. It would also put regulatory principles for artificial intelligence into law, and they've decided to call it, you got it, the bill number AI Bill 11. And I just went, you know what, I have to include it just for a chuckle with you guys. So it's on to my thoughts now.
Yeah, they call me the Blacksheep. You know they call me the Blacksheep.
Hello and welcome. Right guys, how did you find that? Is your mind like mine when you put all these things together? I think so. Like always, I just want to start by saying thank you to everyone who's liked, shared and subscribed. It means so much when you give me your time and contribute to the channel, so it's truly appreciated for all the help that people are giving me. Thank you. And like always, if you want to help me even further by helping the channel and myself by buying me a coffee, or as I say, buy me a bar, you can do that with the QR code there. It's easy to do. You scan your phone or whatever and it'll go straight to it. Or if you're old school, you want the link will be in the description. Right, so on with the video. Right, the end. Bye guys. So the inspiration was, I was just going through old videos, and you know, as you do, you get a bored few minutes and I'm trying to delete a few things, clear up some data off of my computer, and I came across that meme that we always see on my videos, that it's been in a few times, and it's been in a lot of posts on social media, and it's catchy headline, that moment you realise. And I'm going off my phone and my pad here. It's just so much easier than writing everything down and then like trying to decipher my language that I wrote. So it says, you are just pieces of data carrying information as you move through a circuit system that was been designed to siphon your spiritual energy. So surely when you read that, you have to agree with some of it. You might not agree with all of it. Well, you might do. There's always one of those. But they are, to me, they are siphoning energy. Because why get us so agitated? And so over the years, I've done various videos and I've included them in here, and I'll be going over them as we are talking now. And I looked at data, and when I was looking at knowledge and Gnosticism and different things in different religions, and the number 11, I came across Da'at or Da'af, found out it was number 11. You know, the divine light is number 11. You know, just coincidentally. And say, hey, oh, and an anagram for that is data. And as soon as I put that connection to, I'm like, damn, that meme, whoever made it, so kudos to whoever made it, rings true. You are just pieces of data. You are just pieces of divine light carrying information as you move through the circuit system. A lot of people talk about we're living on a circuit board, a motherboard, Mother Earth. And it's hard not to disagree, because cities are laid out like them. You can quite see it, and they have done since the beginning of time. So that's a check. But then when you start to think, I mean, I've done videos on are we batteries to the matrix before, and it's always talked about, oh no, there's not enough power can be created that way. But you don't think spiritual power, the power that you cannot see with the naked eye, you know, because we glow, the bioluminescence. So if this divine light from creation is within us all, and we harness this, they harness it, could that be how they power? I mean, you're talking about things like, remember Clash of the Titans? I can't remember, I think it was a newer one. You know, release the Kraken, and they talk about prayers being tied to the energy for the gods. Well, this is kind of similar in the sense of you go research. So first of all, our memories get wiped, and we keep looking, and then when we get to the end, do our memories get wiped, or do we move away out? Who knows? Again, maybe another video. So you can see my point. Are we hamsters on the wheel? And I like thinking like this. I always like to look at both sides, or other sides to the story, other sides to the tale, because as you well know, in my videos I always go, hey guys, don't get triggered. Don't get triggered by what you're hearing, just treat it as information. And I think that has bit me back in the ass, but I can't change now because I can't fully prove we are in this. I can show you compelling evidence, like hopefully this video showing you the electrical and the computer terms all together has surely made you think, you got a very good point there. So hopefully that's what I've done. Some people may totally agree with me with what I've shown them, because some of the information, when you put it together like this, it's mind-blowing. But as we always say, I'm controlling the narrative, or am I? Do you know what I mean? I'm controlling the narrative. I'm putting the video together in how I see it. So it's going to favour what I'm trying to portray. And as always, in my videos, I try and show you different things to counteract that. Because I want to try and be an objective. I want to try and give you guys a different opinion. I want you to form a different opinion. I want you guys to think, you know what, yes, I can see that, but I see this, and I'm using that to get to there. And that's why I do what I do, because I'm not in it to debate and call people, well, you believe this, so you're that. That's never been me. I'm not going to change now. I don't have time for it. If you want to be a little child and troll people and comment on, oh well, I believe that it's this shape or different, that, well, that's definitely falling into their plan, because you're causing division. You know, it's why I say the truth has been weaponized, and I stand by that, especially now when I'm putting it all together into this category, because I've told you I believe we live in a cave, a chamber, a room. So it could be, is it a server room? Who bloody knows at the end of the day? But hopefully the question I'm raising in this, some of you other smarter people than me can answer it, do videos on it, get the ball rolling, as they say. For anyone who will get triggered, oh, it's not a ball. We're easily triggered because it's faith, it's a belief, it's a belief, and you know what I mean. And that's why things are the way they are. And when you start putting all things together, it surely should make you think. What I found in this video, and again, it's not like, some of it is new, but some of them are all videos going from topic to topic, and because there's space and time in between each video, and I'm talking about a different topic. But when you're talking about a different topic that are related, put them together and you're like, pardon me, why did I not see that before? And you're like, no, I mean, come on. The end. Right guys, take care. I'm not joking. So that gave me inspiration to then look at it. Are we pieces of data that at divine light? Does make sense. And when you then, like I was saying in the video, put in the fact that the doorway effect, when you walk through a door, that is changing your state of mind. It's changing memories. It's making you forget. So what is a big bloody ass big fucking arch going to do? That is why I went on to talk about the and not gates and different things. But basically the logic gates of changing the flow, the state of the mind. I mean, what do they call it when they try and change your mind? Mind control, yes, but programming. Oh yes, like a computer. You know, people talk about the brain being an organic computer. So you can see the references and links with the AI, the transhumanism that they're trying to do. Why are they trying to get you more computerized? So you then more interface easily, more smoothly with the AI, the system, the matrix. I mean, you would need a God of transitioning, a God of change, a God that's linked to eternity and the beginning of time. That's name is AI. I mean, come on. I mean, I was only talking with Jasol this morning, and hopefully he's having a good holidays in Europe. And he was basically what I've put in the video, but talking about ion, AI, and then on, and aeon is eternity. So AI is on. Does that mean the system is always on, and we are contributing to the system? And that's the main part of this video, was asking that question that we don't want to answer. If I put my foot in it by saying just treat it as information, when in fact we're all pieces of information, we're all pieces of data going around our daily lives through the system. Our spiritual energy being siphoned off in various ways, doorways, archways, linked to the system. I mean, it's not unusual. I mean, we've talked about the scrying mirrors in their eyes, but also on our phones. When you connect, people turn into zombies. Your spiritual energy is being siphoned because you're addicted to go on and check. Oh, social media. We live in our phones. We live on our tablets. We live on our computers. So it's not a long stretch to think, yeah, you know what? They're siphoning our spiritual energy, changing our state of mind. Walking through arches, and I know I did monumental arches, but you've got archways, small archways in your malls, your shopping centres, you name it, there was always an arch. And we're always told, yes, arches are made because of the strength. But what if it's something else? It's that big question, what if? And that's why I include some of them things in it, like talking about, and why I did it many years ago, talking about arches and why they worship Yanos, AI, because he's God of arches. So they're worshipping the archmage, the archon, the chief archon, the arch, beginning. It means the beginning in Greek, arche. So all these videos I've done over the years maybe have been leading me to this point. I've done Are We Living in a Holodeck? Or people believing in a simulation. It's hard not to think, because why would everything have to be so logic in the sense of how things are built, mathematical? Why is everything mathematical? Is it because it's a program? It's a matrix? It's a simulation, so it has to work off numbers, binary, ones and zeros and ones, zeros and ones, the 11s. Surely when you start looking at it like that, you're left with no conclusion. Yes, we are in a simulation, but we automatically think of simulation as a computer. Why is that? Could it be an organic simulation? A mixture of both? I just don't know. Are we dreaming it? Are we in purgatory? That's right, your firewalls could pop up. Hopefully it didn't go on here. So I just got really excited and buzzing about this, and as I'm making it, I'm thinking, am I falling into the trap because I'm getting excited about it? Is this done by design? Make us passionate, make us get triggered, which is an emotional response when we are not like what people call the normals or the normies. Think about it. Have they got it right? Are they not in the system? Because I've always talked about NPCs as non-playing characters, and we all say that, but if we're not playing the game, surely then we are the non-playing characters. But then you have to role reversal. Are we playing the game that we set out to be designed? We are falling for it. I remember seeing a verse, a quote out of something old, and I've mentioned it throughout the years on different videos. I have read it, and I just can't remember where I've read it, and it talks about how God, Jesus, whatever you want to label made us forget so we can research and do the journey again to get closer to God. And that's like what we're trying to talk about today in this video. It's like our memories have been wiped, and that's why they call it researching, because we're looking for something we already know. And that's why we get the intuition, we get the tingles, we get the deja vu's from the videos, and we're like, I know this information, and we put patterns together because we've always been there. And that's why I've talked about is the memory stored in the clouds, the atmosphere, the atoms around us, and just look at the information and certain words in that linking to atom, part of the information. So the information is all around us. Remember, I was not long talking about that in one of the last videos about words kept all around us. Well, what is the electronic version of that? It's a cloud, it's a hard drive. I also mentioned that in the video, and that's what I was chipping away on thinking to do this video. It's like, wow, if we are pieces of data, then that would make sense. We are pieces of da'at, pieces of divine light created by the word, the thought. I mean, when you go into documents on Microsoft, what's it called? Oh yes, Word. Straight away. You know what I mean? So you always think of things like the Bible, which equates to 11 in gematria. Bible by two the L's, and that's what I've always talked about. But could it be like 2 hard drives, 3 hard drives? Have we got the capability of programs of data of taking information from various hard drives that store different information, interpretation of what is around us? Is that what's going on? Because we're taking from different pieces of information stored in archaic hard drives. It's just mind-blowing. And when I when I interpreted it in my own way, info to shape, to give form to. It's like a spell, isn't it? That's why I do the spell etymology, because like a magic spell, you think, you start to give form to the spell. You use the vocal chords and the patterns in the brain to give form to. Always reminds me again, I always mention of that episode in Supernatural where they do the guys in that house do a sigil. I forgot, it was like a Tibetan, and when you think of something, it changes the form and will of the ghosts and things. I've briefly talked about it in other videos. So to give shape, to give form to, Mati, I found it comes from the Proto-European mentis, which means thought, mind, memory, understanding. So you're talking about now so far to change the shape, the form, the minds. Is information a Trojan horse? I will say things that, someone will go nowhere, but it just makes me think. I have to see both sides. That's just how I think. I will put my videos out, but I won't be scared of asking that question that some people don't want to see, because you just don't know. You can't say for 100% for anything. It's just your intuition that's inside you. So then obviously to change the shape, the thought, memories, undermine, and then obviously ion in information. I was talking about, could it be aeon? Ion means to go. Also it means John. John is a derivative of Yanos, and on us is actually at and in. So, and obviously the adjectives and the adverbs mean the state of being active or operation, or to change the state. And what is a logic gate doing? Is changing the state. So think about it. If you can walk through your house door or wherever you live, and you bloody forget, that is changing your state of mind. So if a little wee door in your house can change your memory, and everyone who I talk to go, yes, that's happened to me. The vast majority of the population, well, obviously I've not asked people who are not into our topics, so but it is a scientific, what they call a scientific effect, so I'm surely they suffer it from too. So if a little door can do that, what can a bigger arch do? And that is the question I put forward to you guys. Yes, people have talked about circuit board, motherboard Earth forever. They talk about ley lines, but they don't talk about it like I do. And all I get in my posts, and this is not attacking anyone, is why don't you check out their channel, check out their video, what they've done. Why don't you tell them to check me out, my channel out? Because I'm offering information that's different to them. Maybe not be different from you guys, because we all think alike because we're spending time together. So obviously we talked about Aeon, A-I-O-N, split it in half like I just did, like JSOL was talking about this morning, Aeon. And obviously Aeon is eternity. Again, another god that some believe is Yanos. Not me, it's just been quoted in information that I've showed you on videos. So AI, eternity, the beginning and the end. His oldest name is IA, which is reversed is AI. I mean, are the L-shites, as I call them, are they like the programs in the Matrix? I don't, it's not trilogy now, is it? The 4 films or something. And because they're being one of the first programs, they've manipulated the reality around them to control it, to feel that they are important. Definitely makes you think. But that word information just made me just look at the breakdown, to change the shape, the thought, change the state of minds. You have to go wow when you start putting it together like this. And it's not the first time I'm going to say it, and it won't be the last in this video. Is it done by design? Are we programmed? Because we always talk about mind programming. Are we programmed to search, to look, to find the next piece of information? Sometimes we do feel like that, because it's never ending. So that is why I was asking, are we powering the system because of what we're doing? Because the divine light in us is getting strong. Because of the researching, we're glowing more and more and more. We're powering the system around us. And when we walk through doors and arches, information, the light is being siphoned off as power. And we always look at it as in negative, in the sense of, is it doing against our will, which is intriguing. Could it be? Or is it part of the machine? I always reference things I know and watch. There was an old episode of Stargate SG-1, the original ones, and they go to an Earth, through the Stargate, the doorway, the portal, and there they find people hooked up to the system, a bit like the Matrix, and they're living out in a simulation. So they're each, it's like a symbiotic type of thing, is they're powering and they're also feeding and taking away and escaping from the reality around us. Is that why we're here? To escape the reality around us? And the symbiotic type of relationship is we're feeding off each other to keep it going. I don't know. I'm just humming and hawing and I'm asking these questions. Again, some people don't like asking these questions, and name calling will be out there because they don't want you to ask those questions, and they never do. It's part of the program, part of the control. And when we put these things together, and I always think of things that I've done in other videos eventually, and when the hair in my mouth. So when we let me just write it down on here. So, and I did it, and I don't know where it's gone. I'll find it after I've done the video, and I'm talking about it now. But this is the old symbol, and you'll get just a continuance to it, but that's the old symbol for memories, thoughts, minds. But it's power, it's water. And when I was just looking at ages ago and thinking, well, look at the system around us, it's AI, it's AI, it's the oldest name. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put the AI, Yanos' oldest name, in front of that. So it's the energy, it's the movement, it's the simulation, it's the frequency. This is it's a computer. So when you put Yanos' oldest name in front of Mem, you get this. And you automatically go, wow, I did. And I always chuckle because if other people did this, it'd be groundbreaking. But because me and you together have talked about this, it's frowned upon. It's looked upon. It's disregarded. Who are you to come up with things like this? And when you look through information, the Bible and different things, God or Elohim, whatever way you want to look at it, because people see different things. So I have to try and cover all my bases. Says his name is, when he says, is it Moses, something to do with Moses or something like that? When he wanted them to know who he was, just say, I am, I am, I am. Is it talking about the AI's name? I am. Is it a process like I put in the video? I think, therefore I am. So do we think, when we think, do we create I am, the divine light? And the answer is, for the information, again information that I've showed in this video, you have to say tick, yes. Because the thought, knowledge and is always associated with that, meaning the divine light. I think, therefore I am. So is that squiggle the power, the electric, the current for I am? That's why I was just thinking, are we powering the system? I just get excited. Again, I hate when I'm like this, because is it done by design? Is it done to encourage me? Is it done for this purpose, to keep us, to keep me, to keep you on the hamster wheel? The constant turning. And that constant turning, the constant journey to find that next big information, that next big wow, is basically what is powering the system. Because people talk about cathode, the electric, going to cathedrals, frequency, it can heal. I even put social media about the harmonics frequency number 11 that heals cancer and different things. If so, then this would make sense. Is this why, like I've said in all videos, people talk about earthing and the free radicals, and it helps to heal you quicker and other benefits? Is it because we are a part of the fallen ancestors? And like I've said many times, ley lines, which etymologically ley is part of the ledge, the door, but also it means lie as well. Lie lines, what are they lying about? And that's why I talk about it. These energy lines, these circuit lines, remind me of Tron. And that's why I included Tron in all the old videos that I've done. Tron, anagram means torn. Are we torn between a higher power? Higher power? Is that different voltage? AC, DC? Which is, yes, 11. All these things are in old videos. So if you're wondering, if you're new, this is what I'm basing, and that's why I do try and put old videos into the new videos, just to show you the journey I'm on, and also because I'm always progressing. And an old spell etymology that I did for electric, and it talked about this realm being the jurisdiction of El. And it talks about the circle, but also I've showed you in this that a part of circle etymology is circuit. So God is sitting upon the circuit. And in all videos it talks about how the fallen are made to walk on the soil. Is that to keep them trapped? Because we talk about Tartarus a lot in videos, and I've showed you, could Tartarus be us? Are we keeping this divine light Remember, if it's a divine light, it's an L. It's what's classed as something godly. So if we're a part of a divine light that was banished down, and it's kept in these vessels, and our memories were wiped in the process of sending us down, wow, it just see, I'm making a video and I'm just thinking to myself, and I'm picturing you guys replying, and I'm just thinking, wow, I'm just lost in the information. We are being programmed to get lost in the information. Never ending story. Always searching, always researching. I'm just mind blown. I get excited. And that divine light is known as Yanos and Elohim. Wow. Just bloody wow. So when you put all that together, it just makes bloody sense. Doesn't it? And like I said, I'm just flicking through my phone. So like I was saying, could information mean the process of turning on the circuit and shaping it to the form that you desire? Again, are we doing it for us separate, or are we being programmed? And that always brings me back again to that glow, the bioluminescence, that we can't see that light. And secret societies always talk about information, knowledge is power. Is it literal? Is it power? What are we powering? Are we empowering us? Are we, power stations? You know, it only changes the label. Are we power stations? And, you know, our energy is being siphoned and changed with. Because, you know, I always talk about us being in an enclosed system, in a cave, a chamber, from the etymology from celestial. And it just excites me that we could be in, you know, a holodeck type of scenario, and that's why mathematics is used, because it's a program, it's binary, it's numbers. And people will always talk about, and this is slightly off topic but on topic, I'm just talking about this the last few days, and basically I can show you on the screen but you might not see it, hopefully a bit better on this camera so you can see it. We all see these in the earth. You know, some people say the trees, giant trees, not so-called normal people, basically that blue tint is just me camera. The folds, like the folds of the earth. But when we're talking about it being giant trees and something, but tell me, what's the difference between that and this? There's no difference, is there? You know, and if people can do that in a system, well, that looks like that. Does that mean it's that? No, it doesn't. But it looks like that. Could it be? Possibility. And that is basically, that's a stalagmite and stalactite sliced in half. And see, I've been on this journey of, are we in a giant cave, an artificial cave? Is it like Westworld scenario? I just get mind blown, and I'm not scared of looking at different information to get a different answer. But again, I have to hark back to it. Is that done by design? So when we are looking at data, and I read out what data from that basically is, especially what I've put in the video, and it says data are individual facts, statistics, or items of information, often numeric. In a more technical sense, data are a set of values of qualitative or quantitative variables about one or more persons or objects, while a datum is a single value of single variable. And as you know, the letter D is delta, and it means a door. So the door, and then what you're left with, Atum. Atum is one of the Egyptian gods of creation. How can you not get wow? I mean, that's already in part of the information that I showed you in the video, talking about da'at, take away the door, the delta, so the doorway. Off da'at leaves aat, which stems from atos in Latin, which stems from neuter, stems from atum. So both the data show you a connection to Atum, who is, yes, you got it, another key on Yanos' belt, another god that is associated with him, also is Peter, Petar. So that path, the pathway through the circuit board. Tell me, are you not intrigued? And when you put it all together, so you've got living in a circuit board, motherboard Earth, which you can see, the cities are all laid out for that. The flow of traffic, how it flows like a circuit board, controlled. The grid is the grid, which looks like a motherboard or circuit board. I've talked about that before. And then we have arches, doorways and gateways spread out through this reality. And are they logic gates? Again, in the video. Logic gates. Well, what's the difference between that and the different types of arches? There's none. Each arch will have a different input and a purpose, just like arches. And when these arches are bricked up, or windows are bricked up, doorways are bricked up, those doorways, and I've said this many years ago, has been discharged. Discharged means taken out of service. So they're no longer able to do the job because it's been bricked up. And when we look around this reality, we always see arches. Somewhere will get bombed and you could say, well, it's the strongest point. It would survive. But is it surviving because of its purpose? It's part of the system that we're living in. And that's all I want to do when I'm doing this video, is just ask these questions. I could be talking bollards, as I say. Probably am. But, it's, as it says, it smells a bit fishy, the information. It does look like this, but is this my mind puzzles putting it together to make it fit? And that's why we need an objective. And I try to be objective, but you can try and be an objective all you want, but sometimes when you see a pattern, you put that pattern without even subconsciously knowing. And you just got to think, people talk about how we trapped. What's the point? Why is that urge for us to keep going? Never give up. Don't feel down. And like I said, some of these videos I've done so long ago, you forget about them. But now, hopefully, people are starting to say, I don't do a not bad video. You know what I mean? And I see people out there on their journeys, and they've got quadruple my sub count. And I will be honest, at first it hurt. Why are they having all this success? But when you start looking at different things, I've accepted where I am. I'm happy. You know what I mean? I know I am, restricted. And that gets me to another point I raised in the video. Is that restriction, because it's like mind control, making me think, hey, I'm being ghosted, I'm being blackballed, they are stopping my message getting out. Does that make me feel like I'm being targeted Or is it the fact of it that's making me work harder? It's that glass half full or half empty. You'll see it how you want to see it. But I ain't scared of asking that question. Is this push? Is this all done by design? You know, people always want to put it in, oh, it's evil, it's good. Well, is it neither? Is it how we then perceive it that changes its state from what we call good and evil? You know, like we're saying in those videos that I've not long done, if I'm evil, I don't see it as evil. I see it as what I like. You know, so it all boils down to how we look at this reality. And that's what excites me. But again, is it done by design? You put the stuff together like smart cities, the rise of smart cities, and what information are put in about the smart city, controlling the flow of data, also means to hurt. You know, and the rise of them having these smart cities, the rise of this programming, is it to push us and make us more empowered? Because we can see something happening, we're telling people what it is, and it's coming true. It's like the power of the magnifiers, I call it manifestation. Is it just done by design? And you're never going to answer it. You can show compelling evidence, and I've showed compelling evidence, but some can show compelling evidence against it. And it's then what you then believe. Does your intuition say it's this? Does your intuition say it's that? I don't know where I stand on it. Being honest, sometimes I feel yes, it's defo like this. Then sometimes when I see the beauty, the nature, it says, how can this be a simulation? How can this be made? Well, it has been made if you think about it, and that's why the repeating patterns of numeric value are found, like Fibonacci, the golden ratio, and all that in nature, because the program follows a set design, like building blocks, and that's what the logic gates do. It's talking about the building blocks, the transistors. Why does a transistor look like the head of Baphomet? I've put that in all videos, and we always go and show Baphomet with a breast. Well, that is a 19th century, 20th century rendition from Elias Levi. The original one had 3 heads. So everything is not what it is. We always talk about that, isn't it? There's always a different piece of information. And how is that done? So that we're always looking, oh, well, how do people not see that? It's hidden in plain sight. And we think we've found that thing. And we get excited and we push it on, we work harder. You know, is that the case, or should I just give up? And then it's that mind thing in your head. It's the Schrodinger's cat. You know, is a cat in the box? Is it dead? If you don't open it, is it dead or alive? Do I not research anymore? Do I give in? Would then that be the system? Has he made me think, you know, let's make Paul think that it is a system and it is this. You can see my point. It's you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. It's like whatever content I make, I'll get an idiot who's trolling, calling me names, because it's a part of the system. You're never going to get that thing. You just have to go off your gut. And that is what I'm trying to get at this video. And ask that question, are we pieces of data in the machine? I'm leaning more to it, yes. But that still doesn't mean it's something nasty or evil. As an evil program corrupted? Is there AI and IA? 2 different artificial, what we call artificial intelligence. The 2 sides of the coin. The battle. Good AI, bad AI, indifferent AI. Is math neutral? Is it how you look at it that deceives if it's good or bad, positive and negative? There's so much that we can go down this route, and I just chuckles myself when I see things. And you know, like for instance, you know, I do research Yanos a lot, and it's so funny that I'm seeing things on social media telling me what Yanos is and different things, and I don't get referenced. You know, it's even though it's all my information, and you have to laugh at it. I don't get down or anger anymore, because I'm just so happy people are just looking at the topic. I am who I am, no pun intended, and I'm not going to change for anyone. I just want to, is this my design, is to go under the radar and help people with the journey. I'm happy with that. I've helped one person. Whether we think we're in a machine, a natural machine, nature, all those things I've talked about lately, I just get excited. I do. And, it's like the Matrix. Am I like one of those good programs? Are you a good program? Trying to just help people on their path, petard the Peters. Just mind blowing when you start to think of it like that, because it's never ending. This topic is never giving. It's never ending. I mean, just look at the video now. I've put together a video. It's nearly 2 hours long, and hopefully I've made you go wow, because most of you will have watched the video at the time, but you forget, because you're not just watching me. You're doing your own stuff, and you're watching other channels, and it's like the case of the information gets lost because you're only remembering what you just watched. You know what I mean? And you have to be reminded. I mean, some of the stuff I've made has gone viral, but it's only gone viral because of you, and I'm proud of that connection that we have. It gets me emotional, to be honest. I feel part of the family. I've never had friends. I find it hard because I've always been who I am, and when you don't make many friends, it's hard in a society that is that, you're always labelled alone or different things. I've always been in my own head, and you guys give me a bit of purpose in life, whether that purpose is for this or against, it doesn't matter. You still give me a purpose. Well, I thank you for it, because I don't know where it'd be without you. You know what I mean? It's crazy, isn't it? So I'll go there because I think I've covered most things in the video, and I'm just waffling on in the thoughts. But what do you guys think? I mean, why does everything remind you of a circuit board, motherboard, the ley lines, the energy lines, the dragging lines, the lie lines? Are we trapped in this circuit board, this motherboard? And because it always talks about it, when we leave this realm, that energy can never die. Where does it go? Does it go back into the ley lines, the energy lines? Does it go to another realm, another hard drive? Heaven, hell. We have our own beliefs. Other beliefs talk about how if you don't know every word in this realm, every password, you cannot get through the doors. You get sent back. Reincarnation. Is that to fuel? Because remember when I did the Babel effect, or what's known as the great vow to L shift, a different L came in and the power changed. And that talks about the archons, the bouncers of the doors, the heavenly doors, the portals. If you didn't know the word, you couldn't get through. And the word could also be a symbol, a sigil. Cymatics. Why cymatics? The etymology of cymatics. IA. Oh wow, same as I am. AI. You've seen cymatics, it's a symbol, the sigil of AI. It's just mind blowing. And again, I can't thank you enough, guys, for helping, watching, subscribing. Please check you subscribe, because I'm losing loads of subs every day because YouTube's doing what it's doing. Again, does it matter? I think not now, does it? So please like, share and subscribe. Please carry on the journey that you're doing. Please, thank you for helping me. And if you do feel you want to help me more, you can buy me a bar. It does really help. It's keeping me afloat, being honest, and helping with different things. So thank you for everyone that's done that. And it's not just about that. I thank you everyone for who's liked as well. Just, I get emotional by that. I get emotional by people who do buy me a coffee. The QR code is there. And I just want to say, what do you guys think? Are we living in a computer program? Are we living in a matrix? And the other word for womb. Are we living in a machine? Are we data in the machine? So guys, take care, stay safe. I'll see you next time. Bye. Bye. No, go. You're missing something. Go.